Today we're going to go through the finished product put away process. Um, this process is used to take cartons off the production line and put them away in the warehouse in preparation for shipping. I have a presentation here. We'll go through that information, and then there'll be a separate recording made that will demo the mobile transaction and its tasks and a little commentary to go around with it. So I'd recommend you do this one first and then the commentary and video for the actual use of the handheld. Okay. So, real quick, the process is really simple. It involves, it starts with us picking up cartons off the production line and ends obviously with the proper storage in the warehouse. It's a very important process, although it's easy because of the accuracy of our inventory is strictly reliant on us doing this for each and every carton. So the process involves picking up the cartons from the production line and the placement of the stock in the proper location in the warehouse. Plain and simple. The process has two main steps. The first one is we need to scan every carton that comes off the production line. We have a goods receipt transaction. You'll use that transaction again. We'll go through that in the demo. We'll go through some of the screenshots here in a few slides. Once the data is submitted to the system, the goods receipt against that order, the receipt confirming the fact that the production has been received in inventory is completed by the system, and a put away label is generated. So you'll scan each box, you'll hit your F8, you'll submit your data, and you'll get a label. When you get that label, that means that the goods receipt's already been recorded into the system. So the stock is technically in inventory, although we haven't put it into a bin yet. To go along with that, a second logical step would be to place that label on the pallet. Okay, we should scan all the cartons off of the pallet, putting away a partial pallet or a full pallet, doesn't matter. We should scan each of those cartons and then hit submit at the end of each of those pallets. And the reason being is that we get one pallet label per submission. So we need to submit at the end of each pallet. So if I have a pallet of 10 and a pallet of 4, I'll scan all of my 10 and hit submit. I'll get a label. Walk up to the next pallet, scan my 4, hit submit, get another label, and then each of those labels will represent the contents of those specific pallets. The last one is the put away. The put away involves taking that label that you've generated and scanning it into a bin location. It obviously also means that you would want to physically take the product and put it into the bin. So we place the stock into the bin, we scan the pallet label, and we put it into a location. The only thing we really need to realize here is that it's very critical that we scan every single carton. Every carton that we miss, it's another carton that the inventory is off by. Okay? Cartons missed can easily be tracked to determine who and when they were missed. At the bottom of the slide, we have the carton label. You'll see here we have a customer code. Every product has a customer code. So we have our material number, we have our customer code. This dash number is the pack. In this specific instance, this material is packed 4, so there's 4 eaches, 4 units in the box. The production order number is here, and then the carton numbers. Every carton is individually identified. So within this barcode, we have all of this data. We can tell the difference between the 11th box and the 10th box, obviously by this number, and that's embedded into this barcode. At the bottom of it's a confirmation number, and it just allows us to post our production confirmations against it for a specific work center, but that's not applicable for this process. So you just remember customer code, SKU, pack, order number, carton number. Okay, so here's the process. Material handler should scan each cart from a pallet. They should confirm in the gun, which will be shown in the demo, that each carton has been scanned. You can't scan a carton twice, the system won't take it. You can only miss a carton. So make sure that your carton quantity matches what's on the pallet, and then submit the data to the system. If you do that simple task, everything will be right. Okay? Now, one of three labels could come out of your machine. Put away label, which is the label we would use to put it away. The pre-allocated label, which says that this stock is pre-allocated for delivery, or an error label. The error label should be very rare, but it does happen. I'll go through what those labels look like. But basically, if the system will make the decision on where things go, and based on where things go, it will be based on what kind of label gets presented. There's not anything you need to do. If we do get an error label, we should work with the warehouse supervision or scheduling to figure out what needs to happen to get this corrected. An error label will not have a barcode on it for put away, because that means during the goods receipt process there was an error. The error is clearly printed at the bottom of the order, so figuring out what's wrong isn't hard to do. It just needs to be corrected. Once that's corrected, it'll be reprocessed by the person correcting the error, and then the new label should be given to you. Under no circumstances should you have to scan another carton twice. If a pallet has an error label on it, it needs to be corrected by somebody in the office and the correct label given to you. You can't scan it again. The system won't allow you. The other two labels, obviously the put away label and the pre-label, will have a barcode on them and therefore are used for the put-aways. Okay? So once you do that, you apply your label to your product. The number of cartons are on each label. Make sure that you validate that the carton label and the number of cartons on that label match the product that you're putting on there. Okay? That's our second check to make sure that you get every carton label. You'll then transport the stuff to the warehouse and the dock. And for a put away label, we will scan the put away label in the bin location that you put it in. When you post that separate transaction, it's going to move the stock that we put in inventory initially here and move it into the bin. The reason why we have two steps is we don't know what bin it's going in until that stuff actually gets moved there. So that's why we have a two-step process. We want somebody to scan every carton on the line. That way things that leave the production are accounted for, and then we want to scan it into the bin. For the put away, for the pre-label, that stuff's already pre-allocated for delivery. So we don't put that stock away. We need to put that stuff in our staged pre-location. Pre-allocated just simply says that we already know that this is already on an outbound delivery, so instead of wasting time putting it into a bin for somebody to pull, we're going to take it to a pre-location. And in those instances, we simply confirm that the action, the movement of the stock, is done. We use a different transaction. Again, I'll go through that in a live demo. After the first step, the goods receipt, you'll have that monitor that tracks the 901. Stock that's received in before it's put away is in this location called 901. And that just simply says, hey, when I put stock in the inventory, it's going to sit in 901 until you tell me where you put it. And that's why there's this emphasis on getting 901 empty, because if things are there, we can't pick and ship. Okay? Once it's put away, the stock moves out of 901 and into the bin, and it's available for general warehouse use. So here's the three labels we talked about. So we got our put away, our pre, and our error label. Here's our put away label, material number, customer code, number of pallets. That'll be the number of pallets for the order. That kind of helps you. So when you scan a pallet, you see, hey, this is one of 50. You know that the order that they're working on is going to eventually be 50 pallets. We have our production order number to help you tie this label back to the product it needs to see. The number of cartons, the location. In most plants, it'll have an A, which means it can go to any location, and then the number of eaches. So if this was pack 2, the eaches here would be 10. At the top here, it's going to record the date and the time and who posted this label, and that will help us with how long has a pallet been sitting around and not being put away. And if we are missing a carton, if this was a pallet of 6, we would see that this person here missed a carton. Our label was there was a problem with the transaction. It gives it your basic information, order, number of cards, number of eaches, no location, obviously, because we haven't put it away yet, SKU, and then the error message. This is helpful for the people that are reconciling or correcting errors. And last but not least is the pre-label. The new version of the pre-label is 2 labels. It's this exact label here, and then there's a secondary label that prints just has the word pre. That was to help us differentiate between the 2 labels. This label for put away and this label for pre kind of look the same. The pre-label has confirmed at the location immediately, but we added an additional label that says pre for put away. And that's the label that you'll use to just confirm that the stock's been put into pre. Here's what the scanning screens look like. When you enter your finished product put away goods receipt screen initially, this is the screen that's going to pop up. Once you scan your first label, it'll identify the order, the plant, the storage location, your printer that the gun's mapped to, the carton count, and the last carton. It's very important to understand that this is the number of cartons that you scanned. So, and it'll list each carton. So here, my first scan, last carton was 7. It's carton number 7, pack 4. Down here, you'll see the only difference between these two is that I've scanned 2 additional cartons, carton 8, carton 9. And you'll notice here that the count here is 3. This is the count that you need to verify before you submit the data. When you submit the data, this carton count and the carton count that you're looking at on your pallet should match. If not, you missed one. You can't overscan, you can just underscan. So you can either look at your carton numbers or scan all the cartons again, and it'll only take the one that has yet to be scanned. Once you submit the data using F8 here, you'll get a data received message, and that's when your label will be generated. Again, whether it's an error label, which should be rare, a put away label, or a pre-label, the system will make the decision and the proper label will print. Okay? Some of the common errors you might run into when you submit the data, some are just checks and balances. This one here is should this be 18 cartons for this material? It's okay to submit. Every material has a standard cartons per pallet. This warning just says, hey, you're not matching the standard cartons per pallet. It's a soft warning. If you have double checked your counts and everything's good, you can go ahead and submit it. If you didn't, this might be a helpful reminder that, hey, normally there's 18 cartons for this material. You can say no, arrow over to the no button, and you can finish your scanning. The second one is, this is the message you'll get if you scan something that's already been scanned. So you've submitted the data, maybe you forgot to put the label on the pallet, and you try to go scan the carton again, that's the error you'll get. The last one, warning the production confirmed other cartons in this group. That simply means when the cartons initially come off the line, the production department also scans every carton. And the idea behind it is that production scans every carton and the warehouse scans every carton, but our count should be pretty close. Okay? This message says to you, the put away material handler, that when production scanned that pallet, their counts were different than what you've come up with. So maybe they missed some, maybe you missed some. It's just a warning to let you know that it didn't match. Again, it's a soft warning. If you look at your physical carton makeup versus the pallet and it's right, you can submit it. If you say, hey, yeah, I missed something, you can hit no and go backwards. Okay? So, key points. Scan every carton. Validate that you've scanned every carton before you hit the submit key. Once we do get our labels, we need to make sure that we confirm all products that are headed for pre-allocation, and we need to make sure that we scan every put away label to every bin. Every time we miss one carton, it causes a huge problem as that stock is not ready to be sold and our inventory is either under or overinflated. For our put away, we need to make sure that we validate that the label and the physical product match. So we'll look at the gun and make sure we scanned every carton. We'll look at the label when we put the label on the pallet put away, and then when we do the pallet, when we do the put away, we should also be looking at the label. There's three chances there to get it right. We should get it right 100% of the time. And put away everything every day. This is very important because things that aren't put away can't be picked or sold. And scan the correct bin location during put away. Every location should be marked. It should be simply easy to scan them. If something's not marked, let a supervisor know and they will get it labeled for you. But if you scan just the closest location, then that stock is basically in a position we don't know and could potentially be lost. If there's any questions, please contact support at pcf.com. Thank you.